Aloha, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Phoenix Friday with my special guest, Kelly McKain, creator of Soulsparks Toolkit. So, I'm going to read her bio so that you guys can get to know her a little bit better and what she can offer you guys. So, at Soulsparks, Kelly McKain holds a sacred space and facilitates one to one energy healing, intuitive guidance, and soul led mentorship, as well as bespoke packages to help you navigate anything and everything life brings you. These all come from a unity consciousness and embodied awareness perspective. And Kelly is a kids and young adults author too. And you can find her at www.kellymccain.co.uk with a new series just out about a children's mindfulness club. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. You can find her on Instagram, on Facebook, and she also does author mentorship and Hour of Power sessions. Kelly has live streams on her Facebook. The next event is going to be on Zoom this month, guys. It's right around the corner on February 5th, and it's going to be a full moon circle. You guys can find that information on her Facebook group. She has the Instagram, Facebook group called Soul Sparks. If you haven't already joined that group, please do. Nick's going to be putting all of these links in the comments. You guys, if you have never had a taste of this energy, you guys are going to enjoy the show today. So, thank you for being with us today, Kelly. I'm so excited to have you on the show. Um, so, what is it outside of the bio that maybe I'm missing? Introduce yourself, and then I'll ask you a question.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Janelle, and hi, Nick. Thank you. Hi, Kate. Hi, Brandy. Oh, we're all going to have an amazing... Hi, Andrea. We're going to have a great time. I don't think you're missing anything. I think that's a wonderful roundup. I'm just feeling into you all now, and as you all join.
Yeah.
And I think there's just such a magic about when we join like this, and we're all actually together here, and I can feel you all here, and it's that thing, isn't it? It's that unity consciousness is behind everything I do. So I'm an intuitive guide, an energy healer, breathwork facilitator. I'm an author, I'm a mum, I'm a partner, I'm all kinds of things, but beneath everything, there's that awareness and that unity consciousness, and that just understanding that we are that which is, which you referred to earlier before we came on air, like that awareness, that rhythm, that life force, that whatever you want to call it. And hello, hi, Carla. And yeah, it's that, and it's like also I think that's the answer to all of our, we've got so many challenges on the planet and so many deeply, incredibly distressing and painful things unfolding everywhere. And what do we do about that? It can really, as empaths and everything, really fragment us, really disturb us. We've got lots going on in our personal life as we evolve as well and heal and change. And if we can keep coming back to that, I am the awareness, I am the witness, I am that which is aware of the body, the mind, the emotions, the relationships, of all of it. I am that pulse of life, and that's where all the power is.
Yeah.
And it's a total game changer. And so that, I would say, is the spark behind everything. And it's I would say, obviously everybody's got to find their own way, and we all put it in so many different ways, but I would say it's the same for everyone. Like, there is this underlying force, because we are nature, and we are that which we seek when we seek, and we are just that which is, and there's really not as much to do as we think.
And when we come into that, we step into that awareness of the infinite more that is, and that we
Mm.
are part of that infinite more that is, it really is a game changer. It really is. Um, so I ask my guests all the time. This is the main questions here because it is Phoenix Friday. Is what in your journey do you feel, be it your gifts or events that took place in your journey, that ignited the phoenix in you? And then how do you utilize that ignited phoenix in you to help support and ignite others?
I love that. And the phoenix metaphor and the whole phoenix energy is super powerful. To me, it's one of my, I'm thinking of having a big giant phoenix tattooed on my back. Hi, Jewel. Hi, Rose. Like, should I do it? And I really, I think for me, I had a real Eckhart Tolle moment. I had a sort of, I kept doing this thing, which I'm sure we all find as empaths and mystics, which is I would go out into life, manifest a lot really quickly, create a lot in my life, and then it would get really overwhelming and too much. And I didn't have the emotional, mental, or physical capacity to handle it. I would get ill, I would get overwhelmed, I wouldn't know where my boundaries were. It was written, mental, cultural things that we've inherited would be, I'd be too hard on myself, all kinds of things. It's like, actually, then I kept retreating and coming out and retreating, coming out. And what happened in the end was I went into a bit of a retreat for about 3 years, and I went really deeply into the mystic while doing a lot of writing. I published probably 20 books in that time. So I was doing things and I had my children, but I really went after what I've always searched for and looked for, which was like, what is the answer for me? And everyone's is different, but what is that thing which I'm seeking, that truth, that underlying thing? And I went headlong for that. And very quietly, sitting in my chair, January 2019, I had that Eckhart Tolle moment after sort of 20 years of meditation. But it doesn't probably take 20 years. I'm just a slow learner.
Well,
But I
when we forget to allow that integration of our expansion,
yeah, yeah.
allowing us to become what it is that we're integrating before we move on, because there is this excitement of truth that builds that hunger
Mm,
within us, and it's like we want to gain more at the same time we're wanting to share more, and then
mhm.
we forget, integrate it,
I'm going to
become.
read you something actually in a little while. I've got a couple of little tiny pieces of mini poems, really, like, and one is exactly that. But yeah, I think as well, what I really do think as well, that we takes a lot to make us let go of still wanting to be, even that process, the mind wants to drive it, the psychology wants to drive it. And actually having my children, which was a kind of a something you think was a different topic, completely broke me down in a way that nothing else did. And I know other people, it's been other things that have done that for them, but that real surrender came, and then I was off on this journey. And so I sat in my chair and I had this experience of basically it was like Guess Who, if you know that game, like all the flaps going down. It's like all the mirror shards going down of the reflections of pieces of the psychology of what I thought I was. And then just across this space was this divinity looking back at me, this consciousness, this awareness that was me, but I was it. And it was just like this moment of, and I will just, like, we're seeing as we're all here, all the mystics, we just play and like we'll just give a pause to actually feel that feeling, like just feel into that energy of, then you get the smile right away, because when you literally know that and you be in that, you get it right away. And we're only ever that far away when we integrate it. But of course what happened was I went around in a mystic bliss for about 3 or 4 months. Then it started to tail off, and I hadn't kept up any of my other practices. So I got really upset if I saw one piece of litter in the woods, because I was like, this world, it's so. So then I had to go back and put the platform in and integrate. And so really that experience was my, was my real ignition. And only very recently, this is in it's a little book of bits of writing, so I'll share with you. It's very much been about, I think, as mystics and empaths, we can end up like very watery, like we're very swamped with our emotion. We're very kind of looking for a stream and for harmony but sometimes, it's actually reclaiming that fire and that spark.
Get
And
a
so,
little
and
whirlpool in the
exactly,
water once in a while.
yeah. And so I had a quote. It was from Tori Amos, who I adore and love. Her music. Kate's here. She's a big Tori Amos fan as well. Hi, Colette. And it says, fire thought she'd really rather be water instead, was the quote. And I felt it happen within me recently. It says, with one big explosion of stars and Shakti and brilliance, she was fire again. And that was for me that completion of a cycle of ignition that had started in January 2019. And then there's a little piece here, what you said about integration. I was a blaze of glory, but it wasn't integrated. Now it is, and I is a story.
I love it.
So, damn, I felt like I thought you would, Brandy.
That one gave me chills.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think then leading on to, I think you're going to ask me about other people. And then, so it's kind of like, it's not a linear thing of one thing, then the other. Pretty much 10 minutes after I came out of that experience, which was a kind of 2-hour, very deep meditation, I came out very cold, took a long time to come back. But all I wanted to do then for the rest of my life was help to other people to unchain themselves from that radiator of sort of suffering created by belief in the personal self, the illusion of the I, that idea that we are this separate I, that construct. And that's all I wanted to do. But it's actually taken 4 years to integrate it so deeply myself and create something. So in the Soulsparks Toolkit, I've been able to put that all into a practical, really down to earth resource to just get you there, like we just did, into that space where you just have all of the agency, because you are in the stream, you are part of everything. So then we're not scared of whether it's our boss or Putin, or we're not cowering under these things. We're like warrior women then, because we're coming from that agency and that fire.
Hey, you feel it, you know it. It's now your truth.
Yeah.
And when you're stepping into that truth, really, there isn't anything that, for me, there isn't anything that intimidates me. It's because I know
that's right. Yeah.
It's not the I, it's the we.
It's the we. And like, when you stand there and you in your kindness and your compassion and your love, but your power, and you say no to, particularly in this world, the running rampant male ego. And I know that we have a feminine shadow as well, of course, and we all have everything in us and everything. But I think we're seeing it play out in the world at the moment. When we're doing it as all of us, and transpersonally, there's no, we are truly who we are. And I remember actually sometime during this process, about a month, maybe a month or two after that, it was like, I'm here now. Actually, I'm here. And I felt like I died. I didn't ring my mum for, about a month, because I thought, she's going to, how do you tell your mum that her daughter's dead? And instead there's this the OA, the original angel, the creation is here. And luckily my mum's a Kundalini yogi and an incredible woman. And she, of course, knew already. And so did my stepfather, who's a healer and writer. But it was, it really was a death, but it was a death of an illusion. And so I suppose
an illusion in the first place.
It was an illusion in the first place. So the death was an illusion. And indeed, death is an illusion when you just So
Been
the
there, done that. It is definitely an illusion
mm,
because it's just, uh, we're speaking the illusion of the humanness of us. And yes, it's something that we endure in this journey. It's part of our journey, true, but it is not all of us, you know.
that's right.
And death in the larger perspective, the transitioning of stepping out of this physicalness and into that spirit realm, into the more that all that is. Um, it's simply a doorway. It's not anything to be afraid of. Um,
And
it's
it's actually
something that's
when you I mean, I do a lot of playing in liminal space, and actually I will be out playing. Yeah, so many of us living in illusions. Yeah. And I don't go around, obviously I want to be a fully groundedly human and experience everything, and I feel just as devastated as anybody would when someone close to me dies. I'm wearing the ring here of my friend, beautiful author who died of motor neurone disease, and I feel her here with me, and I still hits me that she's not physical,
yeah.
but I do. She's just laughing about I can feel her around, but
I
actually,
think I love that when they do that. You're sitting there,
like,
you know, you're
I
you're
am here.
dealing with your sacred journey of grief, and they're just sitting there laughing. It's
You
like,
love it, and you're like, yeah, I know you couldn't find your amber ring, so you had to wear my ring, so you had to talk about me, and yeah, it's really, I guess, about, so it was that impulse of like, I want to help remind people that they can unchain themselves too, and actually there is nothing to improve, fix, change about us. We just have to remember. And then beyond that, it was about how do I put that into a very usable, practical terms. And the first thing I tried to write 4 years ago was so mystic, it was so conceptual, it's just taken that long to bring it in. And then this is the last little piece of writing that I wanted to share, and this is what I really want to give to people, exactly what you just said. And it says, sometimes the sea is calm, and sometimes the sea is rough, sometimes I'm blown off course, and sometimes my sail is ripped, but I'm steering my own ship. I'm steering my own ship. And it's like, it doesn't actually matter what the weather's doing, what the sea's doing. It doesn't even matter if the storm takes us out or we lose our faith and we find it again. And because we're steering our own ship, and that's all that matters.
exactly,
And
exactly.
if I can give that to people, and then I would say, so there's two ways then of giving that, which is what the toolkit does, is one is to stabilize in the emotional, physical, and mental. Because a lot of us, I don't think we realize how hard it is to be an empath and a mystic, and how actually, one, we're never going to be satisfied with the normal things that satisfy people, and two, we can't cope with the normal things that people can cope with. And also, I don't really believe they can. I just think that a lot of people are medicating themselves and they haven't dug down to those layers. And I don't think that it's that they're any different. I just think we're more sensitive to it, so we can't deal with it, so we have to find another way. And we don't realize how much untapped capacity we have within us when we actually stop taking our own like constant emotional fluctuations so damn seriously as well. We got to sort of stop taking our own sort of cycles so seriously. It's wonderful to honor ourselves, but we have this incredible capacity to be solid, disciplined warriors who can say, particularly to the masculine when it's coming hard and aggressive in our face, you can stand to that and you can say no to it, and but you can actually, you don't have to have then a reaction. You don't have to, and whether that's in a personal situation or a world situation.
Yeah.
And and also we have to kind of call out that shadow feminine on ourselves to be able to do that. So we have to be really willing, because in our culture it's very easy for us to go, oh, that's not very nice. But actually what we're doing is some retreats, some manipulation, some kind of over nurturing, some rescuing. Like,
Rescue. Let me fix it for you. Trust me, you won't have to do it again. Really,
yeah, yeah, it's like,
It's
actually we're
one
not
lesson.
perfect.
Yeah. But
and
yeah,
I've really learned that on this 4 years. And that you know, it's always obviously if there and any sort of abusive, whether it's emotional, anything situations is game over. Absolutely. There is nothing to be gained from any exploration of stuff like that. But when it's not, I do think that we've got this power to stand, and we are coming into it. And a way that I really you know, there's that emotional, mental, and physical stability, and that's what the toolkit brings. Is through this experience of embodied awareness. So it's like, I love journeying, and I do it in my full moon circles, and I love all of the stuff. I love all of the deities. I love all of the things. But at the end of the day, when you can occupy that position of knowing yourself as awareness, you have this quantum agency. And that really holds all of the rest of it in a way which we are creators then.
yeah, we're collaborating with the
With
ultimate more.
the
You know?
ultimate in life. And when we are one with that, it's like my will is thy will. There's only one will. And when we trust, we can move mountains. And I've got, one of my favorite things is Kundalini yoga. And I've got this beautiful book, Invincible Living by Guru Jagat. And she said, I became a Kundalini yogi because there was so much I wanted to do and achieve, but I had to have that capacity and stability to actually be able to hold that energy. Because actually what she says is, all this stuff about manifesting, there's no lack of supply. There is infinite supply, but there's a lack of ability to hold and integrate and actually, that thing, don't you? I'm sure we all do it. We get actually a load of good, and we're almost like we have to let out the plug and spend some or do some, because it's like, it's a lot of energy.
It
And
is.
it's big. Who says this? Christine. Think of it as the totality of one big pendulum that needs to come back to center, because some people have swung too far out of balance one way or the other, if that makes sense. Christine, that makes literally total sense. And it leads me on to, this is show and tell today, leads me on to my next thing I wanted to show you. I was literally only listening to that last night, Christine, on my favorite book, which is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And I've read it and listened to it a million times. And I was very weird about, I didn't necessarily read this kind of thing before I had that experience myself. It's like I wanted to know for myself, and I didn't want to get to sort of influence with this really pure unity consciousness stuff. So I did a lot more, I had a lot of psychic stuff and mediumship stuff and guides and journeys and stuff. And then afterwards I read this and I was like, oh my God, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. Yeah. And also I wanted,
I find that if you receive information from other people, other sources, other teachers, it's not yet your truth. Your truth
it's like I didn't want to mess with, it's like when you're writing poetry and there's poets that really resonate with you, like for me, Sylvia Plath, like the rhythms in her writing are so beautiful and resonate so much. But if I read too much of it, I start to sound like her. So I actually didn't, for whatever reason. And then when I picked this up, I was like, yes. So what he was saying, Christine, I was reading this last night, is about the extremes. Okay, so rather than being places we go between to define what we are, we know what we are, which is love, which is truth, which is infinity, which is all that is. So those extremes are like a blind person who's using a cane just to feel where the parameters are, like where are our edges, so that we can stay in the middle way, so that we can stay in the balance. And it was just like exactly what I've been living through. I had a really extreme last 18 months with my partner, my beloved. He'll probably watch this at some point and go, oh, you talked about me again. But, in relationship is where we really, they get to those places where we're all so polite and lovely to each other. We're never going to get with each other. And and bring out all of our deep core wounds. And we had an incredible time of incredible, we're both very extreme, we're both very creative, we're both very passionate, and we're both very, we had some really deep traumas in there. And wow, the extremes we've been to, and also holding the space for ourselves kind of shamanically, knowing exactly what we were doing as we were doing it, but only just holding on to the coattails of knowing it was like really getting lost in the illusion, and then nearly getting, and then coming, and then nearly, and it's been such a ride. But we had to go through it, and not bypass it, but we also, that ends, as well.
You honor
That's
that experience.
phase.
By honoring that experience, you
Yeah,
step into a more divine experience
yeah,
and
yeah,
appreciation, because
yeah,
you're not walking with the blinders on.
yeah,
You're seeing the
yeah.
wholeness,
And
and
all of it
you're in
out.
that wholeness. You're allowed to release what you know is the illusion part, and then
Yeah.
back into the harmony of the truth of the wholeness.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like you get the trailer, you fall in love, and you get like the energy and the whole blueprint of everything. And with us, it was one of those things that was like, oh, the way of the peaceful warrior. Yeah, absolutely. Tim Wilde was speaking about being peaceful warriors. Yeah,
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, so like we had an incredible way that we met, actually. Do you want to know about this? It's very magical. At Imolc, in at 2020, but we'd met in a druid yurt the year before in a workshop, and I felt him. He has a heart condition. I felt his heart condition, and when he spoke, and when he said it, I felt it in my body. And I'm an energy healer, and I do feel a lot in my body, but this was different. This was something else. And when I heard his voice, there was something in the blueprint of that. And we didn't see each other for a year. We weren't really in touch or anything. But then the following Imbolc, we ended up doing a sort of 4-day magical working together, which was about healing the masculine and feminine, the young, so the young warrior and the young maiden, the kind of teenage coming into young womanhood kind of self. And we had this incredible magic thing that we were doing completely remotely and just kind of checking. We were both doing different workshops and things. And at the end of it, I had the reuniting of them in the heart in this incredible experience that I had. And then I saw that he was in front of me. And I knew that we'd brought ourselves here. And so this is what we're saying about, we're having a human experience, and we're focused in the material densest layer of reality right now, but it's just focus. And like, we were already what we are. But if we wanted to bring that here, we were going to have to fully integrate that right down under the root chakra and right down into the feet and right down into the, we were going to have to clear out some as it goes down, it was going to knock out some really deep, really kind of ingrained, painful stuff. And it had to do that. And it was inevitable that it would do that, because we're very extreme and we're all like, all in. It's happening. We don't want 99%.
Exactly. And uncovering all of that, and especially if you have a partner that you're experiencing it with, it just shines up all of those tools that were hidden under the muck that much better, and you're able to see the strengths in your partner as well, because of that deep dive. It's a treasure hunt. It really is a treasure hunt. And that's something that I speak on in my book. But it really is, and people are so intimidated by that deep dive, but it's a beautiful journey.
What's incredible about it? Oh, sorry, go on. I didn't.
No, please go.
Oh no, what's incredible about it is you don't see your own stuff. You can be so blind to your own stuff in those places that it's extraordinary, and it can really take. And in order to really stay with knowing, and as I say, this doesn't apply to abuse or intimidation or anything, but in a relationship that's just dynamic and that it's just all happening, is actually, if you can stay with, if I'm in it, and if I'm not, if I'm reacting, if I'm feeling things about this, if this is triggering me, then there's some stuff in me too, or I wouldn't be, because now there isn't. If he's having a thing, I'm like, okay, put the phone down, and I'm literally fine. And and I wish for him very much that he's fine when I'm having a thing. But when I wasn't, when I was like, oh no, I have to make it okay again. Oh no, it's really done something terrible to me. It's really put on. Then it's your stuff. But it's so easy to really lose the faith and think, no, this is the other person. Definitely. This is like, is this what, is this right? What should we do? Doing something different? And actually, it's like when you hold the faith that if it's there, it's for you, in that when you then keep the focus on, I know this is about me, I know this is about me, then it transmutes. Suddenly you have the understanding. And instead of being pulled between two, like bad options or not very good options, it's almost like, well, I can bargain with you or go away from you, or bargain or like negotiate with you or go away from you. And you just stay there, just being the awareness, and then suddenly, the energy shifts. And that's this quantum gaze that we have. We are that gaze of the scientists on the like protons and neutrons, and when they're determining which way they're going to go, in the hadron collider stuff, like we are that gaze, and we do transform things. Like we are the harmonizers, we are the angels, and we do transform things by our awareness. And so to me, there could be nothing more vital than getting this Soulsparks Toolkit made, which me and my partner made together actually, and we had the most incredible time, because even while we were making it, we were living out some of the stuff that we're talking about in the toolkit. I'm actually like going, when you feel this, like there are help points that are like, when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel, he was trying to do 5 people. He's actually a producer and post-production editor, and it's this actual job, but we were doing it on a cottage scale here, and he was doing 5 people's jobs at once, and we were trying to do a professional job on, like, we were filling up an iPhone in 10 minutes with the data, and then filling up a laptop, and then and so we were actually living some of the things that I'm talking about in it. That's real dedication. Like, we put ourselves through it. But I think that's the real thing. It's not about, oh, I'm just so happy all the time, and it's just so amazing, and I love you, and light. It's like I always say at the end of my things, work your light and integrate your shadow. And those are the 2 things, and actually sometimes we work our shadow for someone else. We be that bad guy, not maybe consciously, and then we turn around and go, oh no, that was me.
I mean, but there is a freedom in allowing yourself to say it's okay. It's okay to honor all of me and all that comes out and expresses, as long as we're in the awareness that this is a divine experience and it serves a purpose. And we may not see it in the moment, but if we step into that awareness and we ask for clarity and what is this teaching me in this moment, that shift can take place so fast. And the energy just changes, and you're like in this aha moment, and then you're hungry again, because now you're like, I got a taste of me again, But don't beat yourself up for being that human as well.
It's so beautiful. The way you put things is so beautiful. And that's literally another thing I was talking to. If you look him up on Facebook, Robert Evans, an incredible like consciousness rapper and poet, who I sometimes will just riff off some of these sort of things on a memo to each other. And he was literally saying about this, we can transform these things so quickly when we are able to stand in that awareness place.
Yeah.
But how do we do that, you know? And so in the toolkit, I've actually created this, well, not created, obviously we all do it all the time, we just feel into that space, but kind of broken it down for people to be able to do it. And like, it's so much easier than we think, but we can end up in, particularly as empaths, in the emotional spiral, or we might be someone who's more in the mental spiral, and then we're in this rabbit hole of I've got to fix it, I've got to, you know, whereas actually all of it is it, none of it is not it. You know,
And
and
that's
the
why
only sort of,
don't beat yourself up for being part of it.
no,
You
no,
know?
and like, who is beating up who in that sentence, you know? Don't beat yourself up. And so I would always say, I say to Tim, my partner, so he'll say I something, and I'll go, so which eye is this? Which eye is this? Is this like, you know? And it's just a little joke, but it makes us both go, oh yeah, no, what is speaking there is, you know, quite often the psychology or the fear, and it's wonderful that it's speaking, and that's great. But when we're always also have one foot in this awareness, we can hold everything that we want to say, and everything's allowed, and everything's allowed, and then you're not going and acting it out with other people. You don't have a, you know, you have a personal perspective in terms of there's a post PO box where you are, where people can find you, that's your energy. But you know, that's how I do a lot of my intuitive guidance and energy work, is because I'm not actually attached to my personal, I can screen share with everybody else when they're in front of me one-to-one, and I just feel exactly what's going on in them. But because I've got that awareness gaze, and then we both enter into that kind of space, then we can also harmonize and unify that. So they might bring something that's that thing we were talking about of, is it this or this, this or this, this or this? And the fact, if you're going this or this, it's neither. That's your first clue. If it's then it's neither. And you, but the real trick is to be the space around that, to be the awareness of that, and so we hold that, and then we just watch it transform.
Yeah, there's this
Right there
beautiful
in this
dance that
space.
takes place. You know,
Yeah,
I love the way your
this
hands.
alchemy.
I like to play with the energy. My hands are always doing something
Mm,
weird, but
me
I'm
too.
playing with the energy. I'm feeling that energy. And when you have a collective in a space, like we have our group here gathered in this space, you can feel the dance that's going on and the support that even on a conscious level they're not really aware of, but because the energy is all intertwined right now, there is this dance and there's this support and this bringing up clarity for things that are existing in this, that they don't even know that they're doing right now, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but on a higher conscious, on a unified consciousness, all of our interactive of our energy is affecting one another in this now moment, you know. And it's a beautiful dance that's taking place because we're supporting and we're retracting things that are an illusion for things and feeling it with the awareness and the clarity that we all need, and you know, to come into in the moment, you know.
We're not alone, we're not separate. And the lie that causes the most suffering is that it's the illusion of separation.
Yes,
And
I love
so,
that. Use that. I love that because
you
it
know,
is an illusion of separation. You
it
know,
is.
it's like
I
when
suppose that's what it is about about the toolkit, and the thing that, because to me that represents kind of everything I wanted to get down into a resource, is that when you get enough stability in those areas, you can really become this vessel for you, the awareness. You can really embody and integrate it. And then the gifts unfold, like the quantum, the multidimensional opens up. And, you know, like everything I do in my sessions, I mean, I was fairly psychic before and everything, but it was nothing like this. That is what created this quantum leap. And that everybody, we all have this, and we can all have this. We all are it now. We just have to remember, but we do have to put in the platform, because we have to be able to hold it when we get it. And that's why a lot of channels and psychics and healers and mystics are being blown around by the wind and really struggling with relationships, emotions, money, health. Like, I see it now because I lived it for so long. And actually, just these really simple things: the body, the breath, movement,
Now,
ground,
these really
nature.
simple things are listed in the toolkit, and Nikki's been dropping the link for the toolkit, you guys. And also, there is going to be a discount for our viewers today. So, if you guys are interested in this toolkit, which I have experienced, and I tell your husband thank you for, I'm sure he's helped you with all of the videos that are included.
Yes.
Little video in there. So beautiful job with that. Um, this is the Soulsparks website, and she has a special offer. If you want to tell everybody about that special offer, but I noticed there are significant, very easy, yet deep steps in this toolkit for you. They're very strong tools, but it's it's so simple. It's like it can't be that easy, but it really,
Yes.
it's it's a beautiful way that it's laid out, and you supply not only the video in each section, but you also have the PDF, the workbook. You can dig deeper, you can journal. I mean, it's such an array to be able to really shine up those tools once you get them, and it's something that you can go back to and go back to as you journey through it all. You know, and it's done so in layman terms, so that you don't get too lost in this journey, especially for those that are just
Mm.
stepping into the quantum area, that shamanic energy. Um, and but there is a special going on for this. You guys got to go check out her website. She is the creator of this. Her husband did a beautiful job with the videos, because you can't tell me you did those videos on your own.
No, so my partner, he is actually, he's an on and offline editor in TV for all the major broadcasters. So he did professional post production and audio and everything on it, which was wonderful. But he did everything from like going, "Oh, your hair, hang on a minute," and because I actually brushed my hair through, which I never like. I actually, you know, but it was yeah, we just wanted to make something. He's an incredible, he's he's very mystical, he's a real magician. Like, he does a lot of ceremonial magic, ritual, but he is such a powerful mystic and a powerful presence. And but it's all about the practical and how is it applied. And he's a mentor for at least 10 people at a time, on an almost kind of daily basis, on people really who are needing that practical help to just get their life going in really difficult situations. And it's all about, like, what are you doing? What are you doing every day, to actually put into practice, the disciplines, the commitments. When's the meditation? When are you showing up? And I think we really wanted to make something that was very practical, but you can do 5 minutes a day.
Yeah,
Um,
you can put
you know,
yourself on the list, you guys. Put yourself
yeah,
on your to-do list.
yeah. And we are making a membership. It's coming in the spring, to support the toolkit as well, to support those who are wanting to do this. Because anyone who's a healer, a psychic, a medium, a channel, like, I had all those kind of gifts, and actually, but I didn't know, I wasn't in a good stable place to use them to their fullest. And I also didn't have access to actually the abilities that I have now. So it's an incredible investment in yourself to actually put in that platform of emotional, mental, and physical stability. And of course, these wounds and difficult things, they do teach us, and they are teaching us, but we are entering an age now where we do not have to learn through suffering anymore. We don't. Okay, this is our time.
And
um,
what you are saying is what I put out there a lot is every lighthouse needs a solid foundation.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can lead, you can you can direct people out of their storms, but you stay on your foundation,
hmm,
because your light reaches beyond the beyond. You're still connecting, you're still, blending with other people, but you have your foundation. If you
yeah,
don't if you don't keep that foundation solid and have the tools like you're offering in your toolkit, if you don't have those tools to keep, you got to check your foundation. It shifts, you
yeah,
know. So
yeah, yeah. And also, I think we really don't have to go anywhere we're like, there's no other spiritual realm somewhere else, right? It's all here. It's all
all
here now.
it's
And
all
that's
right.
one of the principles. There are 6 principles in there. It's so easy. It's like 6 principles, 6 help points, 6 tools, crack on. And actually, so one of the help points, it's all here now. And so the more that you're grounded and you're in the foundation and you're here and you're embodying it, then the more that you're actually in, so this multi-dimensional space, and we can feel in just literally now, just feel around you, there's so much energy going on. um it's absolutely incredible. I'm just going to come to the bottom of the comments here. Hi Gina. Christine, she's saying the healers get hit with all this stuff. Yeah, it's it's like we need to bring it and anchor it, and we know this, but like, what does that mean? It means getting clean in our relationships and in our interactions with people and in our commitment to our practices, and in our honesty with ourselves and not beating ourselves up. And, when you're really evolving and growing, you'll say something and 5 minutes later, you would have said it differently. And you have to be okay with that, because you're so on your leading edge that you're constantly going to feel like you're effing it up the entire time, because it's like, how did you learn until you had that experience? So it's all fine, but it is here. Like, we don't go anywhere. We just feel like we do if we have layers of illusion that we then shift, and we have the spiritual hour that we do the Zoom, whatever, and then we come back. But actually, you can live, like, because I do this and I know, in it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just all here all the time. And every single thing, whether it's a packet of cornflakes in the kitchen, is metaphor. And it is, it's all metaphor, this realm. And that doesn't make it any less real, visceral, tangible. It's wonderful that, it's so real. I'm not one of these,
Yeah, we
oh,
can allow it to have the molecule matter.
yeah,
It's easier to crunch on it that way.
yeah, it's
But
amazing, and I
in the
love it.
in the bigger picture, I'm everywhere all the time.
Yes,
I'm
yeah,
everywhere
yeah,
all the time, and it actually took for me to be put in a situation where the walls were around me, for me to actually realize that these walls are an illusion. I'm everywhere.
yes,
This
yeah,
it gave me the determination to open the bigger box of the
yeah,
infinite more. And it's sometimes sometimes it takes that sacred pause for you to really look at what are you accepting into your awareness as reality. And
mm-hmm.
it's either going to expand you or limit you, but it's your choice of what you choose to be in the awareness of. you know but I think it is a consistent commitment. um,
Yeah, yeah,
Choices you make. What
yeah,
is it that you are really wanting to be? you know are you going to be simply the human experience where I'm, in a wheelchair and I'm going, no, I can fly. I'm not worried about it.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm everywhere. I'm infinite. Why? Because I'm connected to everyone and
To
everything.
everything. And actually, I had, when we were talking about the physical being, we are what we are. Like, we are that awareness. We are this consciousness behind everything, this beingness. And then we can actually, but we are also a focusing tool. We have this isness, and then we have this focus. And this focusing tool, we can choose where to focus that. And, you know, when we align my will, thy will, then we're focusing, we're always led to just focus it. And it takes in the whole experience. And I remember, you know, quite recently I was in a kind of liminal experience, and I was playing in the shower, was dripping, and I was out of my body. I was playing in the shower drips, and I was like, this is amazing. But there's quite limited the experience you can have being a shower drip, you know, compared to being a human. And then I felt myself waking up. So I was like, oh, I better go and get back in, got back in the body. And it's like putting the hand into a glove, you know, putting the energy into the matter. And at the first time, this happened a few years ago, the first time it went in and didn't click in and connect. And I didn't have any sense of who I was, where I was, any specifics of the personal, but I was still me. And then the second time, so I went out, came in again in a wave, clicked in, and then I knew the person. So I've experienced very, very much the case that I'm still that which is me, in the broadest sense, when I'm not in this personal address, you know, but the human experience is so beautiful on so many levels that we've hardly tapped into. And this is why I don't have time for the fussing and fighting and stuff. It's like there's so much to explore. You know, when we discipline ourselves in the personal, we can.
The vessel, this sacred vessel has so many tantalizing senses and abilities, and you know, I think because of my near-death experience, I tend to dance in the other realm more than I do in the physical realm, and I think that limits my experiences in the physical realm, because I so prefer to be not in the vessel, you know. But I understand that to honor this particular journey, I need to have a foot on both sides at the same time to really be in harmony, you know, because like you said, you're this shower drip and you're experiencing this, and then you're like, oh, okay, but I'm still having a human experience, so I think it's time for me to come back in, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
so that harmony, complex and beautiful when you're not trapped in it by illusion. Then it's the most enticing. Like, we were desperate to come here and have this incredible thing which allows us access to this material reality, and, you know, food and sex and music and nature and dance and, oh, you know, everything. And the hard stuff, you know, is this all the duality that makes us understand, you know, without the contrast, we can't experience any of it. And I know it's gone way too far, and we don't need to have all the suffering, and we don't need to have the war and the famine and the terrible things. But small, you know, we can work and refine the contrast so that we have this beautiful thing here. I have hope in humanity. I really do.
Yes,
but we've got, this is the time we have to crack on.
So you have a full moon ceremony. It's going to be in Zoom. It's not going to be broadcasted live on your Facebook page.
Yeah, so I have all the details in my Facebook group, so the link and everything. And I decided to do it on Zoom this time because I've been longing for a while for us to see each other. Actually journey as one, you know, and to all kind of be able to contribute, and which we all do, but I'm translating everybody's pieces, whereas I think just, you know, gonna have some fun this time on Zoom. So it's Sunday night, 8 p.m. GMT. Oh, look, it's already there. And it's on Zoom. It's going to be a cozy gathering and of mystics, healers, intuitives, channels. So it's going to be wild.
Your because I know we're running into the hour here, and I want to honor your time. I didn't.
No, that's okay.
You're like, I'm just hanging out.
It's like, it's nearly 10 o'clock here, so I'm off duty, so it's fine for me.
I just didn't want to go over if you weren't okay with that. But
No, it's fine.
you're you're going to be offering a special for your toolkit. You guys, this is a valuable toolkit. This is something that, like I said, you can go back to. She's going to be opening a group to help support those that do purchase the toolkit as well. You'll love her little videos that accompany each one. If you are more of a learner from reading, there's the PDF, the workbook. You can journal and really expand in your own pace. It's not something that is like, okay, you have X amount of time to do this. No, once you purchase it, it's yours. It's in your toolkit. You can download this stuff. And what is the special that you are offering for our viewers?
Oh, so the toolkit's usually £108 and it's 66 for your viewers.
Um,
So there's a code which I think you've got. I think it's toolkit 66 or something, but you have it. And yeah, so you can just pop in that code and get yourself a really good deal. This is what I'm going to do, is just share some really good discounts when I do some live events, because I think that those who are drawn to be here and sharing the energy, we're almost co-creating together already. So, I want to give you some, some extra love and extra discount.
and you guys, check out her group page, Soul Sparks. If you are not already a member, go join so you can get that information for the the Zoom full moon ceremony. And she was doing them on StreamYard Live, but I think that the idea of having that circle on Zoom is going to be a beautiful,
Mm,
beautiful, energetic experience. So Nikki's pulling up the link. So you guys,
yeah.
if you have yet to ever experience our Kelly here and receive a reading from her, she does one-on-ones. She
Yeah.
supports the author mentorship. She's got a beautiful array of children's books for her mindfulness club for the kids. So if you have kids, or if you are grandparents, or if you are an aunt or an uncle,
Go.
check
You
out
can get this. Da,
Mindful
da, da,
Club, Mindfulness Club. Yes, feeling
The
good.
Feeling Good Club.
I just got so excited when I saw that because I love books. I love books for children. It's one of my passions. So we've got a surprise. I've got a guinea pig in the background. You guys may know her. Nikki, you want to jump on for a minute, and we're gonna allow everybody to just kind of experience a little
Hi,
bit of our
Nikki.
Kelly's energy here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Kelly.
Brandy says, I've missed that giggle. Yeah. I can feel you here, Brandy. Yeah, so what we do in the Soulsparks group is at full moon, I do card reading and it's on Facebook Live. And it's very much a circle. So everyone kind of tunes in and joins in, healing and supporting and loving the one who's being read for. And there's always a lot of cross counter energies going, where people are actually going, oh, that resonates with me, I feel that, because of course we are all one and we are all joining in, together. So there's not such a sense of individual reading. So we're going to do a little reading with Nikki in the way that I do it, and the way that I do it is to really create the circle and the thing for all of you. So I'm going to invite you, if you feel it's what you would like to do, knowing that Sacred Space was opened by Janelle and Nick, and that we're all safely protected and all of our guides are here, and that we're nicely grounded, just to take a breath into the heart. Oh, hello, everybody. I can really feel you. And again. And again. And just feeling ourselves as a circle now. And we're just going to send this love, this liquid love around the circle, out of our left shoulder, around, and receiving it into our right side. Just letting that energy flow around the circle. Oh, someone out there is saying, oh, I so needed this right now. Somebody literally just had that thought. I can hear you thinking. And just holding your hand as well, maybe there, just where the ribs join there in the middle under the breastbone. There's a lot of energy there that's just wanting to release. And you can take a deep breath in and then just let that go. So really a lot in there of tension. And it's just energy that gets held there during the day, and just release it. You'll feel it coming up through the heart quite strongly, and just keep one little bit of intention down in the hips and the pelvis, keeping yourself grounded, but letting that energy move. And we're just going to all gently turn our attention to our beautiful sister, Nikki, just letting her stand into the middle of the circle. Okay, and as she comes into the circle, it's like there's this vapor trail behind you, Nick. So it's like you've got this white aura kind of almost trailing behind you. And I'm just feeling into what that is. I'm actually standing, thank you for permission to read for you. And I always get everybody's permission who has a reading. And I'm just sitting in Nick's energy now. Okay, a big word for you, Nick, is tolerance. You have learned to be incredibly tolerant. Life experience has really given you the choice to be tolerant or not to be tolerant, and you've chosen it, and you've really walked into this grace. And it's actually going to make me, I do sometimes cry when I read. You've walked into this grace, and it's giving me shivers to actually feel it. And all those others who are feeling into Nick's energy now and holding her in our love, you might feel this incredible tolerance and this really activated spine. It's got a really activated energy. And you might even feel it rushing up your spine and up through the top of your head, and actually literally like a third eye opening in your third eye with a deep blue eye. So there's very much, I'm not surprised you have that blue angel wings behind you, because there's this very blue energy. But it's about tolerance and consideration. And you've really softened into this beautiful tolerance and consideration. And then in the mind, and as ever, as I always say, take what resonates, ignore anything that doesn't. You are sovereign to you. But in the mind, there's a little thought thing here that's just going, why does it have to be so damn hard? And it's just like, it's the stompy boots thing. And it's actually fine to have that. Of course, you know that. And it's just letting it be. And it's anchored to the heart. So on me, it's to the right side. So it might be over to the left on you, because often we're mirroring if someone's in front of me. Oh, ow. Yeah. So there's quite a sort of, painful thing in the heart. So I know Kate will be feeling this. Kate's probably already working on this. And the counter to that is over there in what's in my left shoulder. So if Nikki was in my private client Zoom, we would work out whether we were mirroring or whether we weren't, sort of early on. And it can take your breath away, this pain here, this thing. It can actually take your breath away. And it's just letting that be what it is. Like, we're not trying to change anything, fix anything. It's all perfectly exactly as it is right now. But by being that awareness, we're just going to all feel into that awareness space around us. So just feeling into that space around you. And you might feel that smile come onto your face. And just being aware of this in your energy, Nick. Just being aware of it. We're not doing anything. And straight away, it just starts to move a little bit like this. And this beautiful grace and pink energy coming up through the back of the head and the neck. And there's a theme coming in about do what you're told, but also I won't do what I've been told. So you've had this battle about, you've been quite told growing up certain things are a certain way and to do things a certain way. And so there's this like, I'm not going to do what I'm told, but at the same time, spiritually, you're incredibly humble and very tuned in, very gracious, and it makes me want to cry. It's so beautiful to do what you're told, like to do what with obviously, making sure that it resonates with you. And of course it is you, it's all aspects of us talking to us, but you are like damn well gonna do what you came to do. It's really beautiful. But yeah, this heart thing here, you could possibly actually benefit from allowing some physical movement. And in a minute you're going to tell me
I'm feeling
yeah. And so
I am feeling it.
And anybody else who wants to just feel into this, we're just going to move it. It's almost in between these two ribs here. It's like a knife blade, it's like, oh, and just feeling into it and being easy about it. These things don't have to be any different than they are. And you just got a lovely release. Whew. And a lot of energy shift in the head. There's a male figure who's passed over, actually, coming in for you. I'm just saying, tell her it's okay. He's about your age, I think. It's a really beautiful, kind energy. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. I think possibly you knew this person growing up, and he's sort of passed on earlier. Yeah, and he's just there. He's just there, like appreciating you. He's showing you wearing lots of different hats, like you do lots of different things. You have lots of different ways of being in the world. Yeah. He's just like supporting you. Yeah, so I have these beautiful cards, and I always pick everybody a card when we're working like this in circle. And I don't even need to actually shuffle it because I know exactly what it is the second I saw it, which is this one, the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. So these are Rebecca Campbell's cards from the Work Your Light deck. And quite often I'll get the cards out a few days before and work with them, and they don't want to be shuffled or moved very much. It's like each person, they already know how they want to move. So this is you, the Age of Light. You're not here to muck around is the phrase that's coming up. There's a beautiful thing coming here, the last thing in under here, and it's this beautiful humor. And Christine says, okay, if you keep hearing unbind your wing, it's tied you back and literally pulls your body down from behind. So I don't know if you feel, I was going like that, sort of, just getting that side opening and moving. And yeah, it's like, there's a beautiful show which I love. It's a really, really rude and naughty, funny comedy show by Catherine Ryan, who's a great comedian. And she's saying to her boyfriend says, I love you. And she goes, I love you too. It's a disaster. Because she wanted to keep herself safe and not do that. And just the way she says it is so joyful and beautiful and humorous. And it resonates so deeply with who you are, with this joy about, I am love. I know divinity. I'm life. It's a disaster, because I have to this is this now, and it's just so the beautiful humor of you and the joy of you is just like such a pleasure to just feel, just so beautiful, right in the back of the heart there. Yeah, and it's just all these just beautiful things, just don't worry and that kind of stuff. Just those simple things, just this. So beautiful, just so beautiful, so much fun, so much fun. And Daniel is the name that keeps coming. So I don't know if you know a Daniel, or it might sort of, what I love is a couple of days later I get the DMs going, oh yeah, you know, he came back in the dream last night and I remembered it was so and so and this happened, or I met him the following day. I didn't know him when you said, but then I met him the next day.
I'm sure it will come back to me.
Funny. So you'll have to let us know.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's no unresolved questions in you, actually, and you have all your own wisdom and your own, you know, your own access. There's no thing you can't access that I could say, but we just want to revel in the joy of you, basically. Yeah, so there we go.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And thank you, everybody. Now, so we can all just step back, let Nikki just step back into the circle. We can all bring our energy back into our own self, our own space. Just take a breath or two. Feel your groundedness. Feel your bum on the chair or whatever. And just know that we're all one. You're held in so much love. You've got this. There we go.
See,
That was great.
Nikki's energy coming back and being grounded after being so expansive in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah. And that's the thing about reading with the circle, is by putting something in the middle and we're putting all of our combined consciousness in that one person's screen, if you like, if we're all just able to screen share, then they're getting this ability to really expand and unfold. And you might find, Nikki, you know, the usual things, as we all say to everyone, if you need to have a salt bath, if you need to go in nature, if you need, you might find that boost of energy just does something that's been waiting to happen within you. So yeah.
And Kelly, before you mentioned, I was feeling this pain, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
I felt it, and it was like, oh my God, what's that? Like, it was really bad.
Yeah, really. You saw my face.
Even the shoulder blade in the back, it's because that the heart space, the back heart space, the deep heart space, the inner heart in the back. Yeah. And this is where I went in and just started moving that energy, because it just needed to be loosened up and let that energy flow a little bit better so you can fly.
Yeah, and I think it's also that thing of actually to witness each other, to witness what is there, to not to let it be what it is. If there's a horrific wound there, whether you know where from or not, whether it's this lifetime or not, doesn't actually matter. Just for us to stand in the glorious presence of someone who's been in the battle like we all have for millennia, and recently, and to see and witness and just be with that, and be that awareness, that crucible and that container for you to do whatever needs to happen with that. And quite often at that point, I'll say something random on a different subject. I can see my clients thinking, okay, I'll talk about my dog, but I don't know what she's doing. And then the next minute it's shifted, because we have to take our attention off it to allow it to move. Then there's this beautiful art of holding it and then stepping off and then allowing and then coming back. And
I think when we do that, it shifts, because when we're focused on it, we're unconsciously keeping it in a container. And then we shift it, it's like the wall comes down on one side, and it's like, oh, I've got room, I can move, I can flow.
We need to witness it enough. We need to be awareness. So witness it from a completely unified place, from total non-judgment, non-duality, and non-intention for anything to be different than it is, in this beautiful, perfect moment, to be with what is, all of it, completely as it is. And then just like by that, things transform, because that's natural. That's just a natural process. And it just, we have such power in the physical that we don't, we really aren't fully utilizing. And like you said before, it's so simple. And some of the mental pain stuff that comes off when an emotional shift happens, something gets unanchored from where it's in cellularly held in the body, and then the mental pain that goes with it will come off, and I'll go, oh, and my client will go, sorry. No, it's fine for me, because I'm only getting the energetic of it, but also I love the release, the movement, everything that's moving is beautiful, just because it's moving, because it's alive.
But allowing ourselves to shift, like you said, talk about the dog for a minute. It really does. It allows that growth and expansion and movement and whatever that energetic needs to do, it does. It's if you look at it like watching a plant grow.
Yeah.
It's going to grow. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you stare at it, you don't see it growing. But then as soon as you say, you know what, it's good, and you walk away, and then a few days later you're like, oh wow, look how big it's gotten.
Wow.
But if you're staring at it the whole time, you miss the beauty of that expansion.
It just happens. Yeah. And we just had that moment where it went, whew, and it moved. And Nikki's talking to me right now, heart to heart, and I can feel you. And I had to put my hands there because I can feel you talking straight into my heart right now. And, we can all live this way all the time. And, I know there is nothing, we all have our own special, different gifts, and they're all exactly equal, and we all have them, and they're different. We have these different flavors and these different, but what I want for everybody is to access them fully, and then expand in every moment into them more fully and more fully and more fully. And I really do know that the transformation that can happen. So we've just shown some of the physical there, the mental, the emotional, and into the gifts as well, So just a one-to-one, an hour, can just unfold this incredible. I've had like live Zoom enlightenment where people just like go, oh my God. And they've just had to knock down that last mirror that was in the way. And, and then there they are, they're seeing the glory of that which they are. And then they can find it again and again and again. And, us guys on here, we're the ones who can carry that. And just, we don't even need to ever talk about it. But if we carry it, then it's emanating from us in the supermarket and everywhere, So, yeah.
Look at that smile. Look at our beautiful Nick.
So I love that. She's still like, we're just having this mega community. It's like we started a session and we didn't have too much time, so we're just carrying it on now.
Well, after the show, you can stay in the studio and
carry on. I know.
But we have extended the show a little bit for this beautiful experience. I just want to say thank you for coming on and sharing your light, your energy, your love, your Soulsparks Toolkit with everyone. Again, guys, join her Facebook group, check out her website, take advantage of the discount that she's offering everyone. There is a code for the toolkit discount. All you have to do is when you go to purchase it, you put in the code, and the discount will automatically be.
I think it's Toolkit 66, but it's in the thing that you put up. I'm pretty sure.
I know. I gave Nikki so many links.
I know. Come on Sunday if you want to play on Zoom.
Yes.
Hey, thank you for the.
And thank you all for supporting and commenting and
Rose, KH, Carrie, Kate, Andrea, Christine, everybody.
There was a question from Kaylee.
Yeah.
Where in the
Oh,
UK?
where in the UK? Oh, down from London and up from the coast. So kind of Sussex, Surrey border, up on the heathland. So I've got thousands of acres of wild heathland up here, and that's where I do a lot of my witchy workings.
Katie, you're in the UK, aren't you?
Yeah. And there was a question from Brandy about the TV show.
What TV
The,
show is
the
that?
TV show
Oh, Andrea.
about
So
I Love You, and that's fantastic. I think the, the one you mentioned in my reading.
yeah, that's called it's called The Duchess,
The
and it's a
Duchess.
show with the comedian Catherine Ryan that she wrote and produced and created and stars in. It's I think it's hilarious. It's really beautiful, but it's very like, yeah, it's very rude. But I love that, obviously.
Well, again,
Oh, and the OA, obviously, if you haven't watched the OA,
the OA.
OA, not fiction,
Oh,
multi-dimensional
oh, really?
reality. Well, of course it's fiction,
So
but
it's,
it's about quantum physics and multi-dimensional realities and multiverse theory, and again, an incredibly talented female writer, actor, who's actually stars in it and wrote it. So it's just got such power about it. Who's also a mathematician.
okay, so Nikki, you know what we're gonna have to do after this?
Get on Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah, usually after we do a show or we've done a lot of readings on Silly Ring because we do our readings on Tuesday, and
We go to Netflix.
Oh,
we,
nice.
yeah, we decompress, we get out of our space, and we just zone out into something and put some me time in,
Nice.
and just do something silly, as if we don't do enough silly things as it is.
Yeah.
We're very, very high vibe as we go, but there's times where we just want to decompress and watch something and not
And
say
actually, some of my best healing is done in front of Netflix. If when you drop into a breathing rhythm when you're watching something, so much happens and so much moves and so much recovery happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to start like conscious Netflix watching where we all sit there and we like breathe,
We
get
should start
our
a
parasympathetic
group.
nervous system going, and we just like heal.
We could do a Zoom Netflix group where we're doing conscious healing
Oh,
while we're watching something together.
that would be amazing.
All right, guys. Well, as I always say, we shine brighter
Together.
together. So it is aloha from me. Thank you again, Kelly. You can stay if you want to. We'll check you out in the studio. Um, so, guys, we will see you again on Sunday for ABCs of Oracle card readings. So it
Wow.
is aloha from me.
Bye.